For this video, I'm going to be focusing on least common multiples and greatest common factors. You will be seeing these on the test, but especially with greatest common factors, that's really going to help you when we move into percents if you want to use the Math Playground block models. And I'll show you a couple of strategies for that in a later video. Let's first start with least common multiple. And these are pretty simple if you really think about what the definition means. Least common multiple. And all that means is when you're given two numbers, what is the smallest multiple that the two numbers have in common? For instance, what is the least common multiple of 3 and 8? Let's just start listing their multiples. 3, we have 3. Actually, as I do this, I'm realizing, I'm thinking to myself, should we start with the bigger number or the smaller number? And I'm going to choose to start with the smaller number because when we land on one, you can think in your mind, stop when you think this is a multiple of 8 and then kind of check it. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. And obviously, 24 would be a multiple because that's 3 times 8. So 3 goes into 24 for sure 8 times, and 8 goes into 24 3 times, and there's nothing smaller than 24. So the least common multiple of 3 and 8 is 24. And I forgot to tell you that when I do this, I want you to pause it and solve it ahead of me. And so for this next one, make sure that you solve it ahead of me. What is the least common multiple of 9 and 6? Press pause, and I want you to solve that problem, and then press play and check it. Alright, I'm going to review it right now. You should have already solved it. I'm going to start with multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18. I'm going to stop right there because I know that 9, 18 is a multiple of 9. And that's the smallest multiple would be 18. So the least common multiple of 9 and 6 is 18. Let's move now to greatest common factors. Factors of a number are the numbers that they're divisible by. They're numbers that can be multiplied together to equal the whole number. And so all greatest common factor is what is the largest number that goes in, or that two different numbers have in common, that goes into both numbers. So what is the GCF, or greatest common factor, of 24 and 6? Well, let's start by writing down all of the factors for 6. Now, if I started with 24, yeah, I could do 24 and 1, but I know that 24 is not going to be a factor of 6 because the largest factor that 6 has is 1 and 6. Then let's move up. Does 2 go into it? Yes, 2 and 3. And there's nothing between there, so we can stop. Now let's do 24, 1 and 24. I actually like to write it on the other side so it kind of loops back together. 2 and 12. Does 3 go into it? 3 times 8. And we also have 4 and 6. So the greatest common factor of 24 and 6 would be, in fact, 6. I'll give you one more problem to do on these. The greatest common factor of 36 and 16. All right, let's start with, I'm going to start with 36 this time. And 1 times 36 is 36. 2 times 18. Does 3 go into it? 3 times 12. Does 4 go into 36? That would be next. Let's see. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 9 is 36. Does 5? No, because it doesn't end in a 0 or 5. Does a 6? Yes, 6 times 6. Let's go to 16 now. 1 and 16, 2 and 8. 3 times 5 is 15, not 16. Does 4? Yes, 4 times 4. And the largest one that they have in common, well, they both have a 1. They both have a 2. Do they have an 8? No. 16? No. But they both have a 4. So the greatest common factor of 36 and 16 is in fact 4.